Oh, did did Adrian Brody stop speaking? Oh, oh, the Oscars are over. Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com. I'm sorry I fell asleep while Adrian Brody was speaking. Uh, damn. Yes, the Oscars happened. Obviously I haven't been sleeping the whole time, so I had to press the button to start the video. It was a gang. Anyway. I'm a blind film critic. Welcome to my channel, and I have to do weird things now to try to get people to like and subscribe because people hear blind and that they now associate it with we are apparently in air traffic controllers and we're crashing planes, and that's the life we live now. I'm now the villain of the story. I'm now Joker. Folie à deux. I love that we're empowering somebody to make the disabled community into the villain of the story, but okay, cool. So if you could jump on the board so we can put out the fires of DEI, I'm going to talk about the Oscars and how did I do? What are my thoughts? Did I get them right? I didn't get a lot of them right. I missed a lot. I take risks because there's the payoff in taking risks, you know. For example, in November, when I predicted supporting actress before she was ever fucking nominated for anything, and you can go back and look at the video, it's there. It is there. I did a best supporting actress predictions with Alex Howard, and I predicted Monica Barbaro. No one else was predicting her. I predicted her. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I did. So the big swings pay off when you get them, especially if you get them early. Like if you're the person who sits there, like if there's some person who came out of Cannes and is like, the substance will be nominated for picture, director, actress, so screenplay, and makeup. And you're like, ooh, that person's crazy. They're cuckoo bananas. That person now gets to go, ah, I was right. And I was right a long time ago. So yeah, swings are awesome if you get them right. But this this kind of went in different ways. So everybody went with the DJ PGA thing in there. Well, not everybody. A lot of people did as the reasoning for why Honora would win. Well, I went with the SAG also, and only 2 of the 4 SAG people won, which is weird because these were the 2 people who were nominated. So it's like SAG could have voted for Mikey Madison, SAG could have voted for Adrien Brody, and they just didn't. So apparently SAG is useless now, but I don't know. Sean Baker tied for the most wins in a single night. 4 has been done once before. He now just did it again. He won 4 Oscars in the same night for picture, director, screenplay, and editing. Like nobody ever thought about that when they were filling out their ballots. And it was like, does he need 4 Oscars? Can we vote for something else? That's kind of why I was like in screenplay. I feel like this is the category where if people are voting for Sean Baker all over the place, that maybe they're like, well, we'll give Sean director and we'll give screenplay to blank. And I thought maybe he would lose screenplay, even though he won it at WGA. No. Every guild except SAG is rock solid. Producers Guild, rock solid. Directors Guild, rock solid. Writers Guild, rock solid. SAG, completely fucking useless. Congratulations on that one. Screen Actors Guild, he just killed, he died this year. Yep, Karen won, Zoe won. Like they swept the whole season. Zoe had a nice speech, reminding people that she's her family immigrated to this country and she's proud of it, and this country is built on immigrants, and she used her time wisely. And Adrien wanted to use his time wisely, but he rambled for like 5 minutes before he ever got to the important part of his speech. And he also thanked the wrong distributor. Did anybody else catch that? He doesn't know who distributed his movie. He thanked Focus and Universal. He was like, I'd like to thank Focus and Universal for having faith in us. I was like, that they didn't distribute your movie. Do you not know who distributed your movie? So, yeah, I'm gonna make fun of Adrien Brody. Like, this is why people write speeches out, is so they don't go up on stage and like, I thought, oh, this is just, wow. I have a lot of want to get through. When you're an actor and you have thoughts, and those thoughts manifest into, I was like, oh, Jesus. And then I love when he's like, I'll be quick. I was like, you haven't been quick. You've already been on stage so long that John Lithgow should be fired for not looking disappointed enough at this point. Like, John Lithgow's the level of disappointment in this gag should have been like, his eyes should have rolled back into his head. He should be on the ground, like trying to get Adrien Brody's attention. Like, sir, you've been on stage forever. And it's like, his speech would have been great if he had like gotten to the, the yes, I've won 2 Oscars for playing survivors of World War II, and and my anti-Semitism, and let's fix today. That speech was that was the speech he needed to give when he just walked on stage. Not whatever he was rambling about for 5 minutes, and then the band tried to play him off, and he was like, no, I'm not done. I'm gonna be quick. I thought Mikey was cute. Mikey got up there on stage, and she seemed actually legitimately surprised that she won. And I think most people were at least a little surprised. She was not out of it. I would have been more surprised if it had been Cynthia or Carla. But most people were between Demi and Fernanda for this. Mikey was kind of in third place going into this, even though she won BAFTA. So, but Honora swept with 5 wins. We love sex workers now. Great. And she gave a great empowering speech about sex workers. So good for her. Kieran Culkin's speech was kind of cute. I didn't hate it. Like Zoe's speech. Screenplay. And, we had a lot of opportunities to hear from Sean Baker. I love that for his director's speech, he was just like, listen, I'm going to talk about theaters now. We have to save theaters. Like, so he gave a big empowered speech about like, let's put movies into theaters, all that kind of stuff. So, and he was blessed that Neon, see, he knows who distributed his movie. So he thanked Neon appropriately. And, because he had already gotten that first win out with screenplay. Like that was his first Academy Award win ever, was for Best Original Screenplay, and then he got to win again for editing, so we got to talk about editing, and then he won again for director, so by the time he got to director, he was just like, listen, let me put this Oscar down. I didn't think I was going to get here to 3 wins, but this is, theaters. Can we watch movies in theaters, please? And I want to be like, Sean, can you call me so we can talk about accessibility in movie theaters and the inconsistency of devices for people like me? Because that's one of the barriers that prevents blind and low vision people from going to the cinemas, the unreliability of it, also the fact that audio description is not consistently offered across all the titles. But yes, I'm totally on board with you, but there are reasons why some of us can't go to the theaters, and I'd love to be able to talk to you about it. So Sean Baker, call me. Anyway, adapted screenplay, Conclave. I knew that was going to win. I got that one correct. I did pick a different original screenplay because, like I said, I just didn't think Sean Baker was going to win everything. And I picked The Substance, but like literally I could have picked anything. I could have picked The Brutalist. I could have picked Real Pain. I thought any of those, they had all won something somewhere. So there was an indication that they could surprise. But then when I did my prediction video, I also indicated what's the category I expect to lose, and I'm like, screenplay. Because it was basically like saying, I don't think Honora's going to win, but I don't know which one of the others will. That's what I was trying to say. So we have cinematography went to The Brutalist, which is what I predicted. Great win for that. Editing I did not get right. I predicted Conclave for editing. I also picked Conclave for picture. I went Conclave's route. Some people did. I was not alone. I would be I would be in the cuckoo bananas boat if I had gone for anything other than Conclave or The Brutalist, because nobody else was touching any other film. That would have been a bold choice. What do you think is going to win? A Complete Unknown, which walked away with no trophies. Production design and costume design, I correctly predicted would both go to Wicked. I didn't even really entertain in my video. I was just like, those are Wicked. I don't even know what would win other than Wicked. Like, it has to be Wicked, right? Makeup, the substance, same thing. I was basically like, I don't know what else would win here. Those just seemed like pretty much like locks to me. They all ended up winning. Score went to The Brutalist, which I correctly predicted, because, yeah, I thought it would. El Mal was when I was like, man, if Amelia Perez loses this category, they really do not like this movie anymore. Like, this was the most guaranteed win that they had walking into this night, even more than Zoe, was Il Mal. And they did. They won Best Original Song. We had sound and visual effects both went to Dune. I predicted both of those correctly. The other categories, Flow won animated feature, which is such a devastating blow to low vision blind people. It's the only nominee that doesn't have audio description, and you guys gave it an Oscar. Can we please get some bare minimum requirements, at least for films competing outside of international feature? Like, if you're running outside of international feature, if you're nominated, you must produce audio description for your film within a given period of time in order to, I don't know, be nominated or something. Like, if you make a short list or something, like, I think all international features should also have them, but I can understand why there would be a resistance to it. Flow has to have made enough money by now to be able to pay for audio descriptions on Max, which is now benefiting from having Flow on their streaming service. They should put audio description on it. If you like it, put a ring on it. Please put audio description on Flow. The first time we ever heard, any blind person ever heard audio description on Flow was during the Oscar telecast, in the brief segments that they showed a scene from Flow, and Nefertiti was on there actually giving some audio description for Flow. Like, that was it. The little, like, a cat and bumps into a lemur. I was like, oh my God, that's the first audio description in existence for this movie. So, yeah, I cursed at my TV screen when Flow won. It's not because I don't like the movie, it's because there were 4 choices that all had audio description, and you picked the one film that didn't. Yes, I think about things from this perspective. And it would be better. If everything just had audio description, I wouldn't even need to exist, to be totally honest. Like, I would maybe talk about quality of audio description, and that's it, but I wouldn't necessarily have to advocate for it. International feature went to I'm Still Here from Brazil. I didn't realize that was their first win. Kudos, Brazil. You should have won by now. 5 times nominated, damn. So there was a cute little moment where Nefertiti, I watched it with live audio description, where I think she didn't know who the name of the person was, and it's live audio description, and she was like, Brazil goes up to she just went with the country instead of like the name or the movie, or so like the country of Brazil went up to accept from Penelope Cruz. I can't remember what the exact word was, but it's funny that she just said Brazil. So that, yeah, predictably won. I predicted that correctly. I knew Amelia Perez was going to lose. And doc feature, I correctly predicted No Other Land. I was like, they're going to do it. I was like, I know you guys think Porcelain War is going to win, but I think it's going to be No Other Land. I think we're going to flip to the Gaza. I think it's the more impactful documentary. I think it's a documentary you can't look away from, and once you've seen it, I love that those guys got to get up there and give a speech. I love the fact that they weren't booed. Oh my God, these guys have been booed before. They've had death threats. They had a nice speech where they got to talk about, finding peace in the region, and they criticized the current policy from both of their perspectives. It's directed by an Israeli and a Palestinian. And they both got to talk about, I really need audio description on this movie, though. Guys have talked enough about No Other Land for a movie that's not accessible. The only reason why I feel comfortable about it is because the only film that has active audio description is Black Box Diaries, which I would not vote to win. I wouldn't even voted to nominate it. It's fine, but there were other better documentaries that didn't even get nominated. So, um, yeah. Sugar Cane does have an existing audio description track that Disney just isn't using, but the other three I'm completely unaware if whatever even was made. So, please No Other Land gain some audio description. I don't think it has distribution rights yet. It should now. You'd be crazy not to pick up the winner for doc feature, at least as a streaming service. So, hopefully it'll gain audio description. I don't know. We'll see. The shorts. So I got one of them right, and it was the one that I knew, and I said, and I had a reason for it. I missed animated feature, which I knew nothing about. I just picked Yuck. It sounded like I could hear, and the Oscar goes to Yuck, like I could hear that. If I had known those directors were Iranian, I would have picked that. But nobody was talking about in Cyprus. Like, there are very few people who are actively like aware and have seen all of the movies and actually have a pulse on the short film competition. Most people focus on long form. There are not as many people who really have an understanding of the state of the short race. It's a lot of guessing. So yeah, I went with Yuck. And then in live action, I went with Eileen because I heard some good things about it. I hadn't heard anything about I Am Not a Robot. I hope it's about CAPTCHA. But yeah, I said doc feature. I said, you know what? I noticed this year. This voting body did not really love prison movies that much. Sing Sing failed to get a picture nomination. Clarence Macklin, who had actually been in Sing Sing, did not get in the supporting actor race. Daughters, which was considered a front runner for a documentary nomination, did not get into doc feature category. And even though everybody else was saying, I am Ready Warden, I'm like, I don't think that's what they pick. I think it's going to be The Only Girl in the Orchestra, which sort of has a tie into the cinema through John Wayne's daughter being the central focus of the thing and her being sort of groundbreaking female musician. And I was right. Kudos. One of the things I went on a limb for, it was not ranked number one on Gold Derby. It was not the top rated choice. I went with the other pick and I actually got one right. I'm happy. I took a swing somewhere and I got one of my swings. So it was a mixed bag. As far as the night goes, I would have cut some stuff out. Man, they overran. I swear I saw that American Idol thing was supposed to start at like 10:05 or something like that. The ceremony ended like 10:50. Like, Conan was like, we're gonna make sure. I was like, I'm interested. What was the start time of the American Idol thing that was supposed to come after? I didn't watch it. No, I actually turned my TV off during the Honora speech, and I was too tired. I went to bed. I was like, there's nothing that Conan's gonna say at the end of this is gonna be remotely interesting for me to stay up and wait. And Honora's won enough awards. I've heard Sean Baker talk enough. We're good. So Sean's talking, and I'm like, I'm done. Goodbye. I know who did the audio description for this. I liked Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan coming out. I didn't care for Conan's opening number. I thought that was kind of dumb. And it ended up being a huge time waster because they ran way over because of Adrien Brody he basically did a TED Talk. What would have happened if he had not stopped talking? Would we have just cut to commercial? Is there somebody who just tackles him? Like, what happens if Adrien Brody just doesn't leave the stage? I love that every time he wins an Oscar now, he's never going to win again because the first time he, assaulted Halle Berry on stage, basically. He just grabbed her and kissed her. He was like, I won you. Which was just a good sport about it. And then the following time he speaks forever and he keeps saying that he's like, I'm gonna be quick. You're already not quick. That's why they're playing anyway. But cut the beginning number with Conan. That was, I don't know. The Bond sequence was weird, and I don't know. the audio description for it pointed out that we had Margaret Qualley was in it, but why was she the only celebrity? Was she the only famous person that was in that segment? Because she was the only one that was named. Very weird. I didn't know all of the singers that were in that, so that was not great. I didn't think they were the best singers that were chosen for that. And I can kind of understand why we go with like new blood for some things, but it would have been really great considering they ended on Skyfall if Adele had come back to sing Skyfall, if that was the big reveal at the end of it, if we were like two new artists singing the older songs, and then here's a new song, and because this singer's still alive and still a professional singer, here's Adele. We got her again to sing Skyfall. So, missed opportunity, I guess, to make that segment work. I don't know. It felt so weird. It felt like we were like catering to Amazon. We were like, hi, Amazon. Hey, Bezos. Why are we doing this James Bond segment? I don't know. Don't know. We don't even know who the James Bond is. So it wasn't even like they were announcing the next James Bond. It's just, we're celebrating James Bond. Why? They didn't really make a good case for it. They just were like, well, we're doing it. I don't know, man. Could have done without that. They put these things in there because they're trying to get audiences to stay, and they also eliminated original song. But I thought they made up for original song by allowing Wicked, because Wicked was more memorable, and going through the Wizard of Oz songs at the beginning was more memorable than any of the original songs are. So that worked. That was a great way to open the show, and those two girls killed it. And later on, the Ease On Down the Road with Queen Latifah as a tribute to Quincy Jones was fine. I really liked Morgan Freeman's In Memoriam tribute to Gene Hackman. I have a feeling somebody else was tapped to do that, and then they switched it at the last moment. I can't even, who gets that call, by the way? Like, you know how you were going to do the In Memoriam? Well, now it's Gene, and you didn't really know Gene. So we've uninvited you from this category. So Morgan got to talk about working with Gene Hackman. They left Michelle Trachtenberg out, which is a choice. It's an actual choice at that point because she died slightly before Gene, and Gene Hackman was included in the In Memoriam segment. Not only was he the focus of the In Memoriam segment, the whole reason Morgan Freeman was on stage, when we did lose some giants, I was sitting there going like, oh my God, Donald Sutherland, Maggie Smith, Jesus, Dabney Coleman, Joan Plowright. I mean, we had some people. And I kept waiting for them to do like Michelle Trachtenberg and then Gene Hackman at the end. And they didn't do Michelle. They just did Gene. I'm like, she was in movies, guys. She's not a TV actress. She has enough film credits to her name. And it's so recent that you know people are going to be looking for her. So very weird to not have her on screen at all. It would have been so cute to have like a little like Harriet the Spy thing of hers, and nope. Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. Is she necessarily on the same level as everybody else who's on there? I don't know, because I don't know how impactful everybody is who's not an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those, I mean, like David Lynch, yes, I know who David Lynch is. But like there are a lot of people who are in their fields, and it's like, I don't know how impactful you are to your field. I assume you are, and that's why you're making the In Memoriam segment, because I'm sure more people in your field die than just you. But so I don't know. But it's Oscars. Anyway, thanks for watching this. Thanks for joining me with Talking Oscars. I'm sure we'll do some really early ass predictions for no apparent reason in probably about a month. And until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.